For the second week in the month of togetherness, I'm going to be discovering a game that I love sharing with my dad. Now, he may not join me on camera like Myth does because in everything he does he prefers to be behind the scenes, but it was still a blast playing through the game to discover it with him. Guitar Hero 3: Legends of Rock. Now, I can already hear a bunch of you saying, Otter, it's 3! It's Guitar Hero 3! Shouldn't you start with 1? You haven't skipped numbers in a series before on this show. People, it's Guitar Hero. It doesn't really have a story, it just has a bunch of songs. I'm not going to miss any crucial plot points by skipping straight to 3. At their heart, the Guitar Hero games are a simple concept. The buttons appear in time to the music, you press the corresponding button in time. The game gets a bit more difficult in practice though. As you press the button, you also have to strum because the controllers in Guitar Hero are actually shaped like guitars. This means that as you play, you get to feel like a badass lord of rock performing for a crowd, even though in reality you're a stupid-looking dork wailing away on a piece of plastic. Certain notes are marked with stars, and if you don't miss any of that chain of notes, you are granted a bit of star power. This doubles your multiplier and most importantly can keep you alive when you're on the brink of failure. See, hitting lots of notes means the audience is enjoying the show and this meter on the side goes into the green. But if you're failing and missing most of the notes, your score will drop since no audience wants to hear people just play random notes that they feel sound good to themselves. That's why jazz fails. So if there's a really difficult section of notes coming up, you can use star power to make your notes you get right count for more than those you get wrong. Now, while the story for this game is almost non-existent, there is a story. 2, actually. The story in the single-player version of the game is that you're a guitarist who joins a band and rockets to stardom. In both single and multiplayer, you begin a set list of 4 songs. In multiplayer, you're a band. You have to play 3 of the 4 of the songs on medium, and then you're given an encore. After the encore is done, you'll see more of your band's progression in stardom in a little wordless cutscene, and then the next set opens up. In hard and expert difficulty, you have to play all 4 songs, but while I play on hard, Dad plays on medium, and no shame on him for it. In multiplayer, your band becomes more and more famous before breaking apart over whether music or money is more important. The idea that the music could be more important to what's called a cover band, which is people who play no original music of their own and only music that was already created and written by other bands, seems a little ridiculous to me, but I'm no rock star. They get back together for one more show, then get arrested, start a riot in prison, go to hell, and break free with an awesome power of music. In single player, you are the focus instead of the band, so you instead follow your meteoric rise. After set upon set, your popularity fades and you sign a Faustian pact to become popular again. When the devil comes for your soul though, you defeat him in a guitar battle and become the new Lord of Hell. The guitar battles though are the worst part of this game. At 3 points in the single player, you will enter into a guitar battle. Instead of star power, the special power-ups are weapons to be used against your opponent, such as double notes, difficulty up, and broken string. Firstly, this is different from every other part of the game. The mechanics and skills that you've practiced for all of those parts of the game are suddenly not what's important. You actually will lose if you make it to the end of the song. Secondly, this is a computer. You can throw all the weapons you want at a computer, it will still play as well as it's decided it's going to because it's the one generating the notes, so it can hit them far better than any human can. So one tiny little mistake on your end will cost you a weapon, and then the computer who will use weapons to keep you from succeeding at getting yours can no longer be defeated. The battles are frustrating, unenjoyable, and completely do not fit in any way with the rest of the game. These songs are mostly forgettable, just noodling around on the guitar, eerily reminiscent of a jazz solo, and you remember what we said about those. An audience doesn't want to listen to it. And in a video game, your player is your audience. You can program your fake in-game audience to love it, but that doesn't make it sound any less inane to the player. Most players will forget about this issue as they play through for 2 reasons. Because the other songs are real, popular songs that they'll be focusing on, and because of the final guitar battle being a special extended version of The Devil Went Down to Georgia, which is such an awesome song that the battle is almost enjoyable. Speaking about enjoyable songs, one of the best parts of any music game like this with licensed music is discovering new songs that you've never never heard before that you love. For instance, before this game, I'd never heard of Weezer's My Name is Jonas or Carlos Santana's Black Magic Woman. Then you also get to play songs you already knew and loved, such as Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast, which if you don't love that, get off my video. Just kidding, please do not go. Although if you were going to leave, I'm going to have to make you listen to all of Number of the Beast album after this as penance. I'd make you give some Hail Marys too, but you have no soul. I can understand why this game would be enjoyable to play on your own. You're listening to great songs, playing a skill-based game that makes you feel even better than most skill games do because you feel like a rock star. True, not all the songs are amazing or even good. Seriously, what is Suck My Kiss doing on here? I really don't think that brain-dead screaming even counts as music. But for every Bulls on Parade, there's a School's Out. The songs that are fun to hear, or at least fun to play, far outweigh any negatives. For me though, the game loses something if you don't have that person next to you playing along. There was a time in my life when my best friend was really disturbingly into these rhythm games. And he'd get the whole group of us together, myself, Myth, himself, and that weird friend down the street that we all have. And he'd get us all together to play the full band version of these games with the drum and the singer. If it wasn't obvious from my skill with the guitar in this video, I was the singer. So today, these instrument games carry memories of sleepovers and arguments about who's off and keeps costing us the song. Playing it with Dad is something that we can both join together and do after a stressful day at school or work and just wind down and enjoy some songs together that we'll both either recognize or have fun discovering together. Definitely an interesting game, if a bit short. Hopefully you're all enjoying the month of togetherness so far. Next week we'll be taking a look at an actual dating sim for once, so that should be interesting and a little bit different this week. Thank you to all of you that have joined the Otterholds, and remember, life is always another game to be discovered.